everyone. This is Albin with Albin Co. bringing in the House Whisperer Show. This is the Expert Show. We are here for you guys. If you have a question, you have a concern, you're trying to figure something out at your home, we are here for you. Call us now. The number is 627-7979. That's 627-7979. That's the area code 757. Give us a call. We are here to answer any questions. The lines are open. And if you can get your call in earlier in the show than later, that would be great. If you call in, whether you're just calling in to say, hey, or you're calling in with a question, you're going to get a free coffee gift card and to a place that of your choosing, or Column 15. Column 15 is a sponsor of ours. They have 2 locations, one in Williamsburg and one in Newport News. Got some great coffee there. And we would love to chat with you guys. So give us a call. My name is Albin with Albin Co. And I'm bringing in the show with some guys here. And Cindy's coming in a little bit later. And she's stuck in traffic out there. Things are getting a little crazy out there. Chuck Worley is the founder of the show, and he is the owner of Worley Homes Services. And they do air conditioning, electrical, plumbing. They do crawl space encapsulation, spray foam insulation. They even do geothermal wells. So if you have any kind of need in that area, he's your guy. And just a special announcement right now, he's got a new opening for another location. Worley's Home Services has a grand opening ribbon cutting ceremony this Friday, the 12th, between 4 and 6. That's at 905 Venture Way in Chesapeake. 905 Venture Way, Chesapeake. And that, again, is happening between 4 and 6 this Friday. And so my name is Albin. We specialize in residential and commercial construction. We do a lot of tile work. We do bathroom renovations, kitchens and baths, additions, renovations, and all that kind of stuff. Jack, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Albin. My name is Jack Keller with Legacy Painting. We're located right here in Yorktown, Virginia, and we do residential and commercial painting, as well as a ton of sheetrock repairs. So stress cracks, nail pops, texture matching, stuff like that, as well as deck and fence staining during the warmer months. We service from about New Kent down to Virginia Beach and that Virginia state line. So if you have any questions, painting, drywall, staining, stuff like that, definitely give us a call tonight, 757-627-7979. And I'll also introduce Michael Davenport with CVP Windows and Doors. They're your local exterior window and door company. They're the only company that manufactures their windows and doors here locally in Newport News. And you can even give them a call and take a tour of their facility. So if you need anything like that, give Mike a call. He's a great guy. And I'll let Cindy introduce herself.
Oh, yep. She's finally here.
Hey, Cindy.
Hey, traffic out there is crazy night. And some of us worked all day. I don't know about you guys, but some of us were working all day today. Mm-hmm. So I'm Cindy Rao, owner-operator of Alpha Pest Solutions, full-service termite and moisture company. Been in business for 16 years. Service the 757 area, but also some of the 804 area as well. Up past Richmond, we'll go down to the Carolina border, out past Saluda. Pretty much if I can drive there, I'll go there. So anything from mice to rats to things that eat the house, termites, powder post beetles, carpenter ants, carpenter bees.
Coyote in the crawl space.
I do that too. I go in there and holler at them and they'll leave. But any of that kind of stuff, that doesn't bother me. But, and I am what am I, Jack?
The only woman we know with the license to kill.
Right. That's absolutely right. And then we've got
Colson Pocorny with Mighty Dog Roofing.
Say your last name again. Pronounce that.
Colson Pocorny.
Pocorny. You made
right.
that up.
I swear I didn't. That was a God-given birth name. We're with Mighty Dog Roofing, so we are your roofing, siding, and gutter experts. There is nowhere in the 757, 434, or the 804 that is off limits. It is storm season, and we are definitely looking to help any and all homeowners, whether you're just looking to get a quote on replacing your roof siding or gutters, or whether you've received some storm damage, whether it's been a branch fallen on the roof, snow caved the roof in, or anything along those lines, feel free to give us a call. All of our estimates and proposals are absolutely free of charge, even the visit and consultations in your home. So
you really had me thinking there. You said snow had your roof cave in.
We've had it before.
yeah.
And it
Tell me.
again.
Oh yeah, you've
Let me
never
hear.
seen that?
No,
Oh.
I have not seen one. So fill me in.
Oh wow.
Well, so unfortunately, Richmond is one of those cities where parts of it are not as well taken care of as others. So there are homeowners that just can't keep up with maintenance, whether the property is dilapidated itself or whether, someone's just fallen behind on the maintenance of it. One small roof leak that it goes unnoticed for a year or more can rot out rafters. It can rot out sheathing. And with a nice heavy snowfall like we've got in Richmond,
So
Wet.
we're
5 or
talking
6
about
inches.
a dilapidated roof that's
Yeah,
caved
well,
in,
and
not
it
a.
can be because
Oh, yeah.
my family's from West Virginia, and when we get
Well, I'm
those
just talking
big,
about here.
heavy,
Yeah.
wet
Oh, yeah.
snows,
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah.
come down easy.
Well, I mean, unless it's a Ryan home, then the snow might collapse it. But,
That's funny.
oh, did I say that? Sorry.
Well, let's not go there. Delete that.
No comment. No comment.
Okay. So look, we have a caller already. We have Brandon in Norfolk. He's on the line. He has a question for us. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, man. Thanks for calling in. How can we help you tonight?
Absolutely. I've got a HVAC, I've got a gas pack that needs to be replaced, and you need to come out and give me some estimates and they
So, Brandon, we would definitely love to help you, but you're breaking up on us, and maybe if you get in a better place where you got better signal, you can try to call us again. The lines are still open, but we're going to sit here and chat a little bit until we get a thumbs up from Damien that you're back online with a strong signal. So. But anyways, back to the roof thing, been in the business for a long time, seen a lot of YouTubes where it happens, but not in this area. Haven't seen it happen. So I was just kind of curious if you had an example here in the Hampton Roads. Maybe I could see where Richmond's got it, probably has had some heavier snows where it's been an issue and that kind of stuff. But, Colson, we were talking earlier today and you said you had some type of claims concern on a roof where maybe the repair was not quite what it needed to be as far as, insurance claims.
Yeah. So, we have to be really careful when it comes to insurance claims. There's a lot of contractors out there that will just tell you that, hey, you should just go ahead and file a claim because anything and everything that is an act of God falls under an insurance claim. While that may or may not be true, depending on your insurance carrier. Licensed contractors are not licensed insurance agents. In the state of Virginia, by law, which I actually just learned this today from one of my friends in the insurance industry, in order to be an expert and give the advice on should or should you not file a claim, you have to be a licensed insurance agent. So don't let any contractor tell you that they should or you shouldn't file the claim. But normally, the rule of thumb that we try to follow at Mighty Dog, and this is something that we've found to be very successful for our homeowners. Let's say your deductible is $5,000. And the first thing you should do before you consider filing a claim is, one, know what your deductible is. Figure that number out, whether it's $1,000, whether it's $1, whether it's $10,000, whatever that is, figure that number out. Then get multiple, and I don't mean just the first guy you call, I mean multiple repair estimates. Have them tell you what the problem is, what they're going to do every step of the way to fix it, and have yourself at least 2 or 3 different proposals. Once you get those numbers, if the proposals to fix the problem do not double the insurance claim amount or do not double your deductible amount, do not file the claim. That is one thing that we have put in hard practice, because not only does it count against you in the world of insurance, because State Farm has a claim-free year discount that's applied year after year.
And you can't call them and say, hey, will this going to raise my rate?
No, they're not going to tell you that.
They're just not going to tell you. Like, we can't tell you.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, and there's different perks and discounts that you can get for not having claims on your insurance throughout the year. And a lot of people don't know this, but even if you file a claim and they say, yeah, it's approved, your deductible's $5,000, but the repair is only $3,500. So while the claim is approved, we're not going to pay you anything. Great, the claim was approved, but now it counts against you, even though they didn't pay you anything out.
Right. So so you're just out of pocket that amount.
Correct.
So looks like Brandon might actually have gotten back online. Hey, Brandon, you back up and running over there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Awesome. Well, I first of all, I appreciate you guys taking the call. I've got a HVAC unit it's a gas pack at my house, and I've got to replace it. The heat exchanger went out, and I've just done a bunch of repairs on it over the years. It needs to be replaced. And I got some quotes from people coming out, and the guy that I'm probably going to go with, the company I'm probably going to go with, he basically told me what it makes most sense is to change over from a gas pack to go to a heat pump. Just because I guess the ducting on my current system is too big. It's 14 inches. And he said really all I needed was 2 inches. 12 inches because it's only a 2-ton. And basically what he had said was we could have just, replaced the gas pack and then, done it that way, but because of the ducting and being as big as it is and as old as it is, it would require me to replace all that. And so when I asked, I said, well, what if I just replace the ducting and the gas pack because I really want to keep gas versus a heat exchanger? He basically shared that, long story short, to do that, my old ducting was basically almost on the ground. And my crawl is so small that he doesn't feel that it will pass inspection to redo the duct where it was. And so where he's telling me to do it, on the other side, basically sharing that doing the heat exchanger is going to be a much better option because, it won't pass inspection if we do it where it currently is. And I guess you have to be 3 feet away from a fence or something like that, or the property line for your unit, so I can't get a gas pack on the side of my house where I wanted to do it. So I guess what I wanted to ask is if you can't get it underneath, like I guess if the crawl is too small, is that something you guys do actually run into where you can't do a gas pack, you have to do a heat exchanger?
Well, let me ask you, you said you have a gas pack right now, right?
I do. Yes, sir.
So you're putting the gas pack back in the same place, right?
That's what I planned on doing. Yes.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of questions rolling in my head when you say you can't do that and you've already have one. So the question I have is, well, was the last one put in properly? And if it was, then, I would say you should be able to go back with it again. I think you need a few more opinions on this. I don't know that I feel comfortable telling you over the air that, yeah, you should or shouldn't do any of those things. I think you need a little more investigative work. So,
Call Chuck.
Yeah, definitely call Worley's.
Definitely call Worley's. I've never heard of a duct being too big.
I haven't either.
And Chuck may be rolling around, right now saying, what is he talking about? But I'm just thinking you probably can have reducers. You can have dampers. There's a lot of things you can do to actually make it work. I just don't see how that could be a problem.
It also goes back to the same thing where in other trades besides HVAC, if you're replacing what's existing and you're not expanding the footprint or relocating something, you don't need certain permits to do that. So to me, if you're replacing what's existing, now I'm no HVAC expert. If you're replacing what's existing, it shouldn't be a problem as far as passing or not passing. I mean, tight crawls are definitely a thing in Norfolk. There's no question about that. But
yes. And so here's the thing. I've been in a lot of crawl spaces. Cindy's been in a lot of crawl spaces. I will say this. There's a lot of nasty ductwork underneath there.
Yes, there
Do
is.
you have that? I don't know. But if you did have it,
sounds
I
like
would
the other
say
guy
you want
wants
to.
him to do a certain thing, and he's only going to, I want you to do this. And I think that there's more options than what he's trying to.
I would
throw at
say if you got a really old system, there is a good chance that there's probably some issues with your ductwork that you should address. because tight quarters under a house, it can really look, ductwork can really take a beating.
And then when people are in and out looking at it and everything, they mess up that ductwork.
Yeah. And how about this? When are you planning on selling?
Well, I don't plan on selling anytime soon. And if I did anything, I'd be renting it. I'm like 10 years away from paying it off, so I'm probably just going to keep it.
Okay. So anyways, what I would say in that case is you probably should at least have some more opinions on the crawl space. I was going to say, if you're looking to get it fixed up and sold, you would want to scrutinize a little bit more because they're going to hit you up.
So, Albin, we have a special guest on the line, Mr. Chuck Worley himself.
Oh, awesome. He's going to tell me what I said wrong. Chuck, tell me what I said wrong and correct me.
Screaming, driving down the road at the radio. So, the ductwork size has zero. The heat exchanger can actually fail because the ductwork is not the right size. Because there's enough airflow going through it to cool it off. So if the heat exchanger needs to be replaced, it's going to need to be replaced again because if the ductwork is size. Going from a gas package unit to a heat pump, why would you do that? It's 13 degrees outside. I mean, it's 20 degrees outside. A heat pump is not gas. You will be miserable. The only people that go from
Chuck, he wanted to stick with gas, though.
Oh, I thought he said the guy was trying to talk him into a heat pump.
Well, the guy was trying to talk him into a heat pump, but he wants to stick with gas.
The reason he's probably trying to talk him into a heat pump is that he's not certified in gas or he's scared of gas. And either one of them you do not want working on your house. So he might not have a license.
Or he may be certified in gas, but he doesn't have enough workers to get it done. So he can use the guys that aren't certified in gas to do more work. So.
Yeah, no, you would never, ever go to. Now, I would go to a dual fuel where you have gas and the heat pump is your main heat and the gas is backup. But you're going to be miserable going to electric strips. Plus the circuit has to be. I mean, the circuit's going to have to go from a 30-amp circuit to a 90-amp circuit, which is half of your electrical panel. There are so many bad things that he is being told. Thank you for calling in because you are not only helping yourself, but you are helping thousands of listeners. Do not let somebody talk you into a heat pump from gas. Dual fuel is gas with a heat pump. I'm okay with that. But you will be miserable leaving gas because you're just not going to get the heat discharge. You're going to get 110 degrees, 115 degrees of heat coming out of that gas furnace. Going to a heat pump, it's going to be 90. So you're not, if you put your face at whatever your body temperature is, 90, I always forget that number, 97.2. What is your body temperature? 98.6. If you put your face up against a grill that's blowing out 95, 98 degrees, you're going to think it's lukewarm or cold. If you put your face on a grill that's blowing out 110 degrees, you're going to say, oh, my God, that's so hot. I got to pull my face off of this grill. So it's a difference. I mean, heat pump is more efficient, but it is not as warm as it will get you to the temperature that you want. You're only trying to get it to 70-some degrees, 68, 70 degrees in your house. So blowing out 90 degrees will get you there, but not as fast as a fossil fuel, oil, gas, whatever. So there's so many other things. The ductwork has to be replaced. It has to be replaced. You're either going to, if your ductwork is jacked up, you're just going to blow heat underneath your house, whether it's a heat pump, gas furnace, blah, blah, blah. It could be whatever kind of heat. You're going to literally blow hot air into your crawl space, which, Cindy will tell you, there's a lot more rats in a crawl space where there's heat, So you don't, if your ductwork is leaking, you need to invest into replacing it. Or go to what me and my wife did when we Albin remodeled our house. We went to mini splits, which is zero ductwork. So you have the air handlers on the walls or up in the ceiling, but there's zero ductwork. zero ductwork. Now that is going to a heat pump, but it's
about the
it's and the
hyper efficient.
Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud, clear.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. My wife has been very educated by a heat and air guy, so she's over here prompting me what to say.
Give it to him,
Because I was fired up. Because I was like, no, don't let that guy do that. So obviously get Worley's out there, get one of my technicians out there, get one of my estimators out there to look at the whole job, and we will give you an honest assessment of what you need to do. But none of what was being told to you do I necessarily agree with 100%. That a permit is required in any gas product. So if you're just replacing the heat exchanger, you don't necessarily need to pull a permit. But I don't know why you would replace the heat exchanger if your ductwork is not properly sized or undersized or whatever he said it was, because one of the main reasons heat exchangers crack is because of the ductwork's too small. So you're going to replace.
There you have
that
it.
was when I was screaming at the radio trying to call in.
Chuck Worley with Worley Home Services. Yeah. He is there to help you guys out, and he has got us on the right page with that. You definitely need to look at your ductwork, stick with the gas pack, as Chuck is saying. I think it's extremely good advice, and you are already on that page. You wanted to keep your gas pack, and as far as the distance from your lot lines or whatever this guy was trying to tell you, I don't know. I don't think that's
you should
that's
be grandfathered.
True.
You should be grandfathered.
Yeah, I think that, if you're putting it back in the same place, you're okay. It's the same with housing. If I'm going to tear a house down and I keep it on the same footprint, I usually can do it. If I start changing the footprint, then there's a problem, especially if
I will
they say,
I will tell you this: in Norfolk, everything has to be 3 foot off the ground. They just passed that, whether you're in a flood zone or not. You have to be 3 foot off the ground, but that, again, that's just a code thing.
That's just
and
the unit,
needs to
though,
be
right?
done
So he
to
can actually
protect you.
turn his ductwork down and go underneath the crawl.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we could still leave the package unit where it's at. And he should be grandfathered, but, how far away from the line is he? How far away from the
You
property
mentioned
line?
some number of 3. Was that right, Brandon?
I'm about roughly. He said 3. It has to be at least, I think it was 3 to 4 feet off the lot line. But the what he had said was the ductwork I have is too big. What happened is I used to have a 3.5 ton, and it was replaced by a 2 ton and a split pack for upstairs. So upstairs has its own, and then downstairs was only a 2 ton. But the ductwork that stayed was from probably about 20 years ago, is 14 inch, and it was for originally the whole house. So what he was saying is the ductwork is too big for a 2 ton system. And the problem is that the crawl is so tight, he can't get down there and reseal everything. Because what he was saying is he would want to reseal it. If we're going to keep it, he'd want to reseal it, but he can't get under there or behind it because it's just too tight. You literally can't get behind it. So he said if you go to replace that, they had to dig down a little bit to get the ductwork to go underneath the house. And he said basically it's going to be touching the ground. If he replaces it, it's going to be too close to the ground where they're not going to pass it. And so he said that's the reason he was saying it would be better to do the heat pump, is because he could rerun it at a different spot where it was higher. You have more room underneath the house.
So a little bit longer, but we're going to be going to a break here. We're going to wrap things up. We're going to if you hang tight, we'll talk to you a little bit more. Chuck, again, thanks for calling in. Great to hear your
Absolutely.
voice.
Yeah, definitely get us out there to take care of you.
Call
At least give you
Worley's.
some more ideas. Thanks.
It's Albin with Albin Co. And boy, do I got a special announcement for you guys. Worley Home Services opening. They got a grand opening, ribbon cutting ceremony, 4 to 6 this Friday at 905 Venture Way in Chesapeake. Be there. Again, Friday, 4 to 6. That's this Friday. It's going to be a grand opening, ribbon cutting ceremony for another location of Worley Home Services. He is trying to serve you guys, and he's getting closer to where your needs are. So he's opening in an area where you probably are like, that is great, because he's right around the corner from me. So anyways, 4 to 6 this Friday, 905 Venture Way in Chesapeake.
Might be food there too, people.
But you know he's going to have food there. He's always so good. If Chuck is throwing a party, it's going to have food.
You will not go hungry.
Yes.
So anyway, my name is Albin with Albin Co., and we specialize in additions, renovations, bath remodels, kitchen remodels, and we would love to do one for you guys. So, and then again, Chuck Worley with Worley Home Services. He specializes in HVAC, as he called in earlier and helped us out there. Plumbing, electrical, insulation, spray foam, crawl space encapsulations, and always this last one, always geothermal wells.
And my name is Jack Keller with Legacy Painting. We do residential and commercial painting. We're located right here in Yorktown, Virginia, and service pretty much most of all Hampton Road, from up in New Kent down to the Virginia state line, up into Gloucester, a little bit over to Carrollton, Smithfield area as well. And we do a bunch of drywall stuff as well. So sheetrock repairs, stress cracks, nail pops, matching texture, water damage, stuff like that. We come in, take care of it, make it look brand new for you, as well as some deck and fence staining as well during the warmer months. I'll also introduce Mr. Michael Davenport with CVP Windows and Doors. They are your local window and door manufacturer right here in Newport News. They have a big facility. They can go out, take a tour, see how they do everything, meet their team. It's a pretty cool experience. I've done it once already with Mike. And yeah, he's just a great guy, and they do some really, really good work. So give him a call.
And I'm Cindy Rao, owner operator of Alpha Pest Solutions. Not only are we a full service termite and moisture company, but we also do inspections when people are buying and selling your home. So if you're thinking that, springtime is coming around, and a lot of people think about moving that time of year, once the holidays are past, give us a call. All my inspections are free. I'm happy to come out, take a look at your home, see what, if anything, needs to be done before you hit the market, so you know what you're looking at.
And my name is Colson Pokorny with Mighty Dog Roofing. We are your local roofing, siding, and gutter experts. It's that time of year. The bad weather has hit. If you have not gone in your attic to check to see how your roof is doing, see if there's any roof leaks, now is the time. You find anything that looks like mold growing, or anything that looks like a black, wet, damp spot, or even just a nice little puddle of water on the attic decking floor, which I found in a roof inspection earlier today, feel free to give us a call. Colson Pokorny with Mighty Dog Roofing. Cindy, I need you for a house I just bought, actually, for a termite moisture letter. I appreciate it. We'll get with you after this.
Okay.
So we were chatting just before the show, and we were talking about, the big thing, the cold weather. Obviously, we had snow on the ground. We got some of it melting. Are you guys seeing any more snow anywhere around? Is it all gone?
I know Richmond has a whole bunch.
Okay.
Richmond still has a
Gotcha.
bunch.
How much did they get anyways?
I think we're like 4 to 5 inches, maybe.
I got that much.
Yeah, I think
we got 3. I think it was about 3.
we got about 6 in Williamsburg, and I think
Nice.
Richmond got pretty close to the
I'm
same.
closer to Surrey than you are. That's why.
You probably got a little bit more. So anyways, I forgot to say, so the lines are open. We're here for you guys. The number is 757-627-7979. That's 757-627-7979. Call in. We're going to get you a coffee card. We have a sponsor for the show. It's Column 15. Thank you, Column 15. Great coffee there. They're in Williamsburg and in Newport News. And again, we're here to help you. We had a great conversation with Guy Brandon in Norfolk. Thanks for calling in. He was telling us he had some issues with trying to decide on a contractor, some issues with what he was hearing from them. We were trying to help him out with that and steer him in the right direction. One thing we were talking about is having more input from other a reputable contractor. So Worley's going to go out there. He's going to check some stuff out there, but he helped a lot of people by calling in. He was really, there's a lot other people probably running into the same problem. And we just were able to help him, which also provided a solution for many other people that are listening right now. And you could do the same thing. You could call in right now and talk to us about the problems you're having, because guaranteed you're not the only one that's having that problem. So we'd love to hear from you. So the number again is 757-627-7979. We're waiting here. We got some stories to throw around and some ideas to kick out there for you guys as we're dealing with cold weather. Was just talking to Jack with Legacy Painting about cold weather painting. And we were also talking about some lead painting and stuff like that. But right now with the cold weather, can you have any tips for people about where they should be leaving their cans, how to make sure that the can is, everything's ready for, there's people out there probably chomping at the bit for the next project. It might be in cold weather situation.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely paint if it's cooler out and cold. Our rule of thumb is as long as it's in the morning time, first thing, as long as it's 40s and rising, usually pretty good to go. Most of the products we use are spec down to like 35 degrees, but then you have like surface temp and wind chill and stuff like that. So we just say 40s and rising. We're usually pretty good. And never had any issues with that. But you still have to be careful with moisture. And like right now, like we're looking at, we still have a couple exteriors we're trying to finish up, but obviously we have this cold weather. And then you have snow on the roof, which is melting and coming down your siding and trim and stuff like that. So then you have water still in the house and that needs to dry out. So, right now is probably not the best time. We almost consider that our exterior season is pretty much done for the rest of the year, until the springtime is kind of what we're just assuming and going to plan for.
I'm sure there's a lot of people thanking you for that. It's like they probably just said, hey, spouse, it's not a good time for me to do this project.
Sorry, honey.
Got out of it.
But we're still scheduling for springtime. So feel free to, we can get out there, get your price and get you on the schedule.
When springtime comes around, we'll help you figure out other reasons why you don't have to paint outside.
Yeah. But it's obviously no fun being outside in the cold painting. And the last thing you want to do is have to come back a week later when everything's cracking and spider webbing and peeling up.
I will say, though,
it's too cold.
As far as the storage of it, if you're trying to keep your paint in the shed, it's probably not a good idea. You're going to want to keep it in some type of climate controlled environment. If your garage isn't, semi controlled, meaning it's, insulated or whatever, you're going to want to think about how you can keep your paint from going bad quick.
Yeah. I mean, we always recommend if you can keep it inside, that's obviously the best. You don't want it to freeze and you don't want to get it to get super hot. You don't want to put it in your attic, of course, which I'm not sure if I've never seen that.
Boiling paint.
Either.
Right. But yeah, you don't want it to freeze. And, if you have a closet or like a utility closet or mudroom or something like that, where you can store a couple gallons of paint, that's obviously best case scenario. If you can do that, then, you can usually like 5, 6 years, 7 years, maybe, if you can keep it inside in a climate controlled area, if you really need to. But if you're waiting that long, we'd probably recommend just getting a new gallon of paint. You get a gallon of paint for pretty cheap if you're doing touch ups or just painting a room or something like that.
So the hot shed is probably not the best place to keep that. Yeah,
right.
No, absolutely not.
So moving on to the other topic, lead paint, some type of form of lead that, paint that's already been on there.
Right. Yeah. So we were looking at a house on Saturday. We were talking about, if there's lead paint, we don't deal with it. But, if you do have, a house that's older, I think it's 1976 or older or 8. Can't remember the year. There's a good chance
way before you were born.
Right. There's a good chance you could have lead, especially if it's real hard, smooth. If when you're peeling it and it cracks instead of like peels like a piece of plastic almost, like you can tell it's oil. If it cracks, it's real brittle. And your house is older, like I would definitely be careful. Get it tested. There's labs all over the place you can take a sample to. They can test it and tell you what's in it, if it's lead based or not. But if a contractor comes out and tells you that they can paint over lead paint and they just have to scrape it, I would be very cautious. You get a lot of trouble if they start scraping it and wonder if their painters aren't protected, if they're not lead-based abatement certified, they can get sick, they can have issues. You get fined. You can have paint chips that go into your neighbor's yard on the street, your yard, somebody gets sick, picks it up, whatever. It can just lead a world of issues. So if you have any suspicion, if you have an older house, especially down like Norfolk or Hilton Village, Richmond, stuff like that, just be very careful. Get it tested. It costs like, I don't even know, $20, $30.
It's not much.
Not much at all.
While we're on the subject of paint, I have a lot of homeowners up in Richmond that have like the asbestos siding, the older siding you see back from the 60s, 70s, and the 80s before they figured out that asbestos could actually kill you. But homeowners that don't want to replace it because if there's nothing wrong with it, they've heard the old mantra of if there's nothing wrong with it, don't touch it. And unless you have a certified abatement crew to remove it, don't mess with it at all. Is it safe to paint asbestos siding? Do you guys have a process that you deal with there?
We've never ran into it, so I don't know.
Okay.
So I couldn't give you an honest answer.
Fair enough. I respect the honesty.
I just actually have never had anybody ask me to paint the siding you're speaking of. I do know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff has got fantastic rigidity. It could stand the test of time.
People paint it, but I don't
mean,
know
if you threw a ball up against it, it'd probably shatter. But that stuff will just last forever.
Yeah.
So if it's in good shape, should you change it? I don't know, but I've just seen a lot of that around, and it's like, man, that stuff's been around forever.
Yeah,
so,
it's very rare that we change it. The only time that we've ever changed asbestos siding in Richmond, I think we've done it maybe a dozen times in 4 years. But it was when it was actually falling apart. Like chunks of it were coming off the house anytime wind blew more than 10 miles an hour. So
I could be wrong, and somebody can correct me if you're listening in. I don't think there is a huge health risk because of the rigidity of that product. I do know, I've heard that if you are the homeowner, you can get permission to take it off yourself as the homeowner. But if a contractor's coming in, you've got to have the proper credentials to remove that product.
Yeah, we have all the credentials. We actually have a crew that specializes in asbestos removal and disposal. Like we have to set up a tent. We got to have vacuums. It's the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. So that's cool. So was I right? I mean, can a homeowner actually do it on their own if they wanted to?
As long as they have
not all asbestos. I'm speaking about that particular product.
Yeah. So most asbestos siding that I have run into in Richmond, you can, as a homeowner, do it yourself, but you have to have a couple precautions in place. Have to be wearing gloves. No part of your skin can be exposed. So if you have some form of face mask or something that will protect, they do also want some form of PPE, whether it is a full white hooded one you see guys crawl in crawl spaces or attics.
Yeah, they're Tyvek suits.
Yeah, the Tyvek suits. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. And then they also sell what am I looking for here?
Respirators.
Respirators. Thank you. They sell respirators that you can buy with the cartridges, just a single use or a multi-day use one for, I think they're $30 or $40 at Lowe's or Home Depot. I think you can go buy one for yourself. But you should always, anytime you're dealing with that old asbestos siding, if you're going to be removing it yourself as the homeowner, you can, but before you touch it, make sure you're completely prepared, completely covered up, not breathing any of that stuff in, and then you know what to do with it after it's off, where to dispose of it, where to take it.
Because that's a big thing.
It is a big thing.
Something like this, you guys, if you're listening and you're like, hey, I can tackle that, you really need to talk to an expert. Don't just listen to us on this show and say, I'm going for it today. You do need to talk to an expert, and Colson, he'll probably be willing to help talk you through that.
Always.
So
always, even if it's just a phone call and you guys don't want us to come out there, you can always just text us over a few pictures and we can give you as much guidance and advice as we can. I can even point you in the right direction for where to dispose of those products.
Yep.
So I don't know who brought it up. We were talking about some insulation needs for under the house. Who was it that was asking, is insulation needed? Okay. So Damien's raising his hand. He was the one that brought it up. This would be a great question for Cindy if you want to touch on that as far as insulation.
I do not recommend insulation across space at all.
Yeah. So
Mine a little bit.
I would second that. If you got soggy insulation, you probably want to get rid of it.
Absolutely.
You can put insulation in. It really needs to be some form of waterproof insulation up against the outside wall, like a crawl space encapsulation. You don't need as much insulation if you insulate that exterior wall. So if you can encapsulate, you can remove that insulation. You have full view to inspect the structure house at any given point in time. Whereas with the insulation, if it's not properly insulated, then you're going to have this warm air, cold air hitting each other.
And if it gets wet,
if
it gets wet, and it will get wet, it's just a matter of when. That's exactly what termites are looking for. Powder post beetles are looking for. It draws them right to it, and you will have termite damage.
Great breeding ground for a lot of insects and for
rats,
mold,
mice,
and
snakes,
mildew,
all of it.
Well,
all that stuff.
Fungus. One of the things about crawl space science, because I'm like Chuck, I'm a nerd with house building science, and I used to be in that line of work. And if you encapsulate a crawl space and it's done right, like the way Worley's does it, there is no doubt that it is absolutely one of the best things you can do for your home, because the earth is always evaporating moisture. So the goal is to seal off constantly. And it doesn't care that your house is built on top of that section of dirt. It'll still evaporate it up through that dirt, even though the sun's not hitting.
It's going to find its way through the house.
Absolutely. I mean, 50% of the air you breathe on the first floor of your home actually comes from your crawl space, whether it's just seeping up through the floorboards or through the bottom plates of the walls or anything like that. So I'm in full agreement with Cindy. If you have fiberglass insulation in your crawl space and you don't have a way to control the environment, you are just asking for problems.
Right. If you have anybody in your family that has any kind of breathing issues, asthma, any of that kind of stuff, man,
well, if we prioritized insulation, I would say the crawl space is the least of my concerns.
Right. Go to your attic.
The attic is where your number one defense of insulation should be. And it's not just about insulation. It's about air sealing, making sure that ceiling is airtight and that no heat is being lost or gained in that area. Not sure what the proper wording would be on that.
I get it.
You know, if it's in the summer, you don't want that heat coming in. Yeah. If it's in the winter, you don't want to lose it through, the heat that you're trying to build up in the house. And just is such an easy place to lose. So the crawl space, that's the least of my concerns when it comes to insulating.
Insulation is important, but it's important where it's at.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you lose heat through the roof, right? Heat rises and cold air is always going to sink. So for those that don't know what air sealing is at home, it is taking any and all penetrations in your sheetrock ceiling, whether it is the top plate of the wall, a can light, which is the most not energy efficient thing you can have. They are 30 cubic feet of air per minute. So anything that is a penetration in the roof, ceiling, electrical outlet, whether it's a top plate of a wall, anything along those lines, bath vent fan should be completely sealed. And we use a closed cell foam to make sure that that's sealed up properly. And not having enough insulation is also a big problem as well. I mean, building code last year was R35, and it is now changed to R49 for all new house construction. So for anyone that is looking
in the attic,
especially in the attic. Yeah. So, if you're looking for the immediate best thing you can do, cost versus return, attic insulation is that number one thing you can do to instantly get money.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're sitting home having an argument with somebody, whether it be a spouse or a friend, to say, nah, you need it. I would say if you're really trying to figure out where you need it, go check your attic first. Yep. The conversation might stop right away and say, oh, I see I've got a lot of work to do in the attic before I worry about the crawl space. So that's where you really need to concentrate your efforts on. So
agreed. Yeah. Completely agreed.
So we had some great conversations about HVAC. You gotta have the right experts there. Insulation. We want to make sure that you guys are putting your efforts in the right place, especially in the cold winter months right now. Seal the attic. Get the proper amount of insulation in there. Chuck Worley can help you with that with Worley Home Services.
Yep. And if you've got windows that are got cold air coming in through the windows, call Mike Davenport.
Yeah, Michael can help you out with that. And then, of course, springtime's just right around the corner. You better book yourself with Jack. He's gonna. I'm sure he's filling up his schedule right away.
Get on that schedule before it's September.
And by the way, people, when we start thinking about springtime, we start thinking about bugs. Do you know what we need to have? 2 sustained weeks of below freezing temperatures to reduce the numbers of insects.
Oh my!
We don't get that here.
No.
Oh, well, thanks for that.
You're welcome. So don't think
we're going to wrap this show up right
cold.
now. My name is Albin with Albin Co. I specialize in remodels, kitchens, baths, renovations, additions. What do you got at home from me? I can help you out there. We have Chuck Worley with the Worley Home Service Team. He is here to help you in so many ways: air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, ductwork, whatever it is.
We got Jack with Legacy Painting and Michael Davenport with CVP Windows and Doors.
And I'm Cindy with Alpha Pest Solutions.
And I'm Colson Picorni with Mighty Dog Roofing.
Thanks for calling in.
Yep.
Guys, thanks again. We really appreciate it. We look forward to talking with you guys next week. Good night.
Good night.